What are hints that women give that most men don't pick up on? 1. I once asked a guy if I could kiss him. We had been hanging out in a way that was conducive to that, and he said yes. I kissed him and it was great. But then we just parted ways naturally. 3 days later, this man called me all shocked that I was hitting on him. He told a friend about the interaction, and they had to point it out. 2. I once got yelled at by my female coworker. She said, "Haven't you noticed that for the last 2 months the first thing I do when I arrive is come to your desk and say hello? And that I don't do that for anyone else?" I honestly hadn't noticed. I did notice she always arrived later than me. That is the only thing I had noticed. Anyway, after that little bit of frustration and yelling, we did end up having a thing for a while. 3. Back in high school, a pretty girl sat next to me for about 2 weeks at lunch and would make comments like, "I could really see myself with someone like you," while also being exceptionally handsy. I naturally assumed she didn't mean literally me, and I just thought, neat, I guess I'm not hopeless after all. After she realized that I wasn't being very responsive to her hints, she just stopped joining me at lunch. 4. All of them. Seriously, if you're a man like me, I'm terrible at hints. She'd have to explicitly tell me that she likes me or wants to be with me. And even then, I'd be scared that I'm getting pranked, because that's happened to me before. 5. I had a coworker girl ask me one time if I could help her move her bed, which I thought was odd. It's pretty doable with one person. I get to her house and she is like an 18-year-old brother. I was like, "Why didn't you ask him to help?" I moved the bed then left. The next day at work, I had some girlfriends ask if I got lucky. I was confused and said no, I just moved her bed for her and left. They all laughed at me. 6. I'm literally in my bed with my fiancé right now and I still am not positive this isn't a long-term prank. 7. I was flirting my butt off with a guy I met at work. I would always randomly brush his hand, or arm, make extended smiling eye contact, or whatever. I never went in for the hug because hey, it was the workplace. Turns out he was picking up those signals, but he didn't believe them. He's a good friend of my roommate, who's a woman. Because I live with her, he thought I was her girlfriend. That changed when we all went out to a social event after work and her actual girlfriend showed up. That's when he learned I was single. We were dating by the next week. 8. Once had a girl come back to my dorm in college, and she was like, "It's super late and I don't want to walk all the way to my room, I'm gonna sleep in your bed." She lived across the hall. I said, "Dope, I'm not that tired anyway and I don't have anything to do tomorrow, so you can sleep, and I'll just sleep after you wake up." I then played Minesweeper for 4 hours and went to bed after she left.